Hi everybody, I just wanted to share this important update for gold, and I think it's important enough to do a podcast video rather than just putting it out as a chart. So what we're looking at here is the price of gold through 2018, 19, 20 and up to the current point in 2021. And you can see how the moving average, this is a 30-week moving average. When price crossed above that back in 2018, it signaled the start of a long uptrend that saw the price of gold more or less doubling, about 80%, 90% move for the price of gold there. We had a little break below the 30-week moving average just for a very short period of time during March of last year, of course, with the COVID the news about COVID that caused the markets to drop substantially. But once that was digested, moved back above the 30-week moving average, and the gold price continued on to its peak, of course, last August over $2,050. So why is this so important at the moment? Well, the pattern that's been forming since is a very long sort of downtrend. It's bullish looking because it's formed a sort of a bullish flag or pennant formation here, which we've broken out of. However, when this happens, very often you get what you're actually getting is a left-hand hemisphere of an arc forming. So I've marked that on previously, and you can see that as the red arc here. I'll just move it across now so that you can see what's happening. So I'm moving the chart across to the current point in time, and you can see that as the price has broken up above the 30-week moving average, that was very bullish and looked great, but we've come all the way back down and gradually been grinding up what appears to be the side of this red arc, the arc with the red support line here. And that's the arc that I've been highlighting. But looking at the bigger picture now, it's possible to draw the arc with this black support line, and these touch points down here could be part of a much larger arc. This is the difficulty that we have until the right-hand hemisphere of an arc is fully confirmed. You need multiple touches, and actually on this red arc here, we have had multiple touches. We've had 1, 2, 3 now on the right-hand side, but I'm still not convinced, because sometimes you get a pattern where, for example, and in fact I'm just seeing this now, where you get a couple of arcs within a larger one. So you could, for example, and this is just pure speculation, and I think this happened with, I'm trying to remember now, I think it might have been Ethereum or Litecoin, one of the two, where you get a couple of arcs inside the larger arc. And you can see if I draw that there, we've already got a sort of a touch point here and a couple of touch points down here. So that's a possible scenario there, which would fit into this larger pattern. The reason that's all very important, of course, is that it's identified for us that if we break below this red support line, the moving average, and the dotted line, or the dashed line here, I'll just make it a bit darker so you can see it. What am I doing? I want to make it dark like that. There you go. So we've identified this zone here, which is highlighted in red, that if price breaks below, then something else is going on, and that brings this lot bigger picture into play. So what am I saying? Well, we've actually closed below the 30-week moving average. The 30-week moving average is 1803, and the close at the end of last week was 1801. So that's a bearish sign. If we don't regain that moving average very quickly, then that would add to my concerns. The red arc support is currently, well, given that we're going into a new week, it's going to be around about 1795, that sort of area. So if price breaks below 1795 on a weekly closing basis, that's your next bearish indicator. And then the dotted line next week would have support somewhere around about 1775. So that 1775 to 1795 area is crucial now, and any move below those levels will bring this other arc into play, possibly, and certainly this larger arc here, depending on where we or when we reach the eventual low. That would bring targets into play that could be anywhere as low as 1625, perhaps more likely up at around 1650. Now, this is all part of a bigger bullish picture, which takes us back up next year to the previous highs, but it's just to flag up the possibility of this this downside scenario. Of course, we're all hoping that the red arc is the one that's in play, and we get up to over $2,000, which is where I was expecting to go before seeing a sustained move downwards. And at some point, I mean, if this bigger arc comes into play, it also makes sense because it takes us back to these highs and quite possibly somewhat higher, possibly quite a good deal higher actually, before the 8-year cycle low. So a couple of scenarios: either it's all great, we follow the red arc and then we have some pain, or we have some pain now and then it's all great before the 8-year cycle low. Either way, there are opportunities to do well in the precious metals, but it's a case of knowing where to get out and where to get back in again in relation to these trading analysis patterns. Also at the bottom here, I've got the stochastic RSI, which was a leading indicator back in March of this year, because we broke out of a downtrend. There are only with this, it's not quite so easy because you only ever get a couple of points. You get the point up here, the high point, then you get a lower high. You don't often get very many sort of touches on these resistance lines, but regardless, we broke through, and it was a leading indicator because it told us ahead of time that price was going to move up from well, we were at around about 1740 and it moved up to about over 1900. It's since dropped, and for the time being has made a higher low, which is another bullish sign. But and the blue line is currently above the orange line. Just if they cross over and move below this support line, then that's another piece of evidence to support the downside case unfolding. If it begins to lift off to the upside, then that's another case or piece of evidence to support the upside scenario. So monitoring all these little bits of evidence, all these little clues as to where we might be going, and I'll do my best to keep you posted and let you know as we go through the next few days and next couple of weeks. So that's it. Thanks for watching and listening as always, and hope you have a great day.